big change that is happening. One big change that is happening in the software industries are that AI credits are becoming standard for any monetization model for any software company. So, as you may be seeing, you may be using Claude or you may be using GPT. There, you are paying for some subscription dollar amount per month, and with that, you are getting X number of AI tokens or credits. So this is becoming super common across software industry, and I'm sure like it will start uh, going into the other industries that you're leading because there are quite a few reasons around it, right? Like because the underlying cost to serve AI is pretty high. So that's why like companies are looking to monetize that particular cost and the extra value customers are getting. And here I'm sharing some examples of key Bay Area companies who have moved to AI-based crediting consumption model. So like where Salesforce, they have launched the sales agent and they are charging based on AI credits or the number of tasks that are created by agent rather than just charging individuals for SaaS. So how does it impact finance? Let's see on that particular part. Okay. So from finance side, as you see, like 1 minute, I'm just setting up the Zoom part. Yeah. So from finance side, the big change transition that you will see is that as your company or your vendors are moving from SaaS area to the AI world where you are going to pay based on the consumption. So the big change that you will experience is like earlier you were charging customers for per seat, whereas now in the new world, companies are fast moving towards pay by consumption. How whatever number of AI tokens end user is using, based on that, you are going to pay for. So, as finance person, right? Like suppose you are leading a company that is right now charging customers for through the SaaS model or for the per seat model, you will have to look into couple of key areas. Like first one is the pricing model itself. So like when I was in pricing, we were working very closely with finance team to come up with new pricing models and see what's the impact on the revenue implications or the bookings part of it. So I would highly recommend if your team has not started discussions around it, like start looking into like is there any pricing model change that is required within your company moving from subscription to usage-based pricing, and it will have downstream implications for your company. First thing is like in the SaaS world, where when you were charging customers on per seat basis, there was a consistent revenue stream that was coming in. Whereas with the AI consumption model, what will happen is it becomes a pure utility model. So whatever AI tokens end users are consuming, based on that, you are going to charge customers for it. So you may have lumpiness in your revenue predictability because in some quarters or some months, customer may be consuming lots of AI tokens. In other months, they may not be consuming that many AI tokens. So just to give you some examples in the industry, right? Like suppose you are working for Salesforce and Salesforce product is used by sales team. Generally, sales picks up during first quarter or towards first month of any quarter. So there, the AI token usage will be high, but the AI token usage will go down towards December or during holiday time, right? So that's where the revenue predictability will change. Uh, Third big change that will happen is more around the marginal cost. So earlier it was, I would say, fairly easy for you for finance team to predict the cost of providing a product or a service, considering you were just like using some cloud services. Uh, Whereas with AI, the marginal costs are going up because you may have heard that Claude sometimes charges. They do have a surge pricing kind of a model where during peak hours they are charging extra for the same AI token. So with that, like your cost to serve the product is going up and down depending on when customer is using the product. Uh, Yeah, let me take a quick pause. Any questions over here before I go into the other aspects of operational focus or gross margin complexity?
So, Anurag, I think this is very interesting because I was thinking that like you're talking about SaaS. SaaS came around 2013, 12, 13, after
Hmm.
2012, 13. So, before that, we used to have an on-premise model wherein we used to pay fixed cost. So, if I see there is a almost 360-degree change from the way when we used to have total fixed cost model to a per month model. Now it is a per token model. So now it is going, more into more. I don't know what is the right word to use, but something it is changing a lot. Maybe or you see it differently.
Oh,
What I've
yeah,
seen
yeah.
in last.
So it's yeah, yeah. So it's like it is becoming more like a utility model, Ankur. You
The
can
right word.
consider
Yes,
it
you're right.
more like electricity or water
Electricity.
consumption. Whatever you are using, you will pay for it. And that's where it becomes very challenging from finance side to predict that, okay, what will the revenue in this quarter or what kind of margins you can expect.
Hmm. Interesting.
And
But this
yeah.
is complex only from a utility provider like the company like Cloud or Open or ChatGPT, or is it like for customer also both ways? Because for customer also predictability on the cost is less now. They doesn't know what kind of cost they will end up paying at the end of month. So probably for both of them it is difficult now.
Yes, yes. It's you're hitting nail on the head, Ankur, over there. So I had done a similar transition when Cisco moved from on-prem to SaaS model, the subscription model. At that point, also customers experienced the same issue with perpetual licensing or on-prem model. They were knowing that, okay, for this particular year, upfront they are going to pay, suppose $100,000 for a product. Whereas with the SaaS model, what it became was we were charging customers on monthly basis, and they were okay. We don't have our financial spend cycles as assigned for monthly basis or quarterly basis. So they were give us the whole year estimate. And with SaaS, it became tough because number of users who may be using the product may be different, right? Like in quarter one, you will have more number of licenses, or in Q2, number of licenses may go down because of like changes within the org. So that's where the spend cycle changed at that point, and companies came up with creative ways to ensure that customers are not seeing lumpiness in their spend. So instead of doing a monthly billing, companies were charging for annual billing, or there were more options of like in Cisco world, there was a Cisco Capital option was there where Cisco Capital will finance that particular deal for the customer so that they don't have to worry about lumpiness in the deal. Cisco Capital will pay for the customer upfront.
Okay, cool. I think it's becoming more complex now. But yeah, yeah.
Yes. And that's where, as finance professionals, right, like you may be getting these, it's from the consumer side as well, right? Like as you are doing the financial budget planning, how much money you should be allocating for the AI token spend in Q1 versus Q2. Those are big questions that come in. And
So
I will
is it
go.
something Anurag you're facing in US? Because I've been very candid. At least I have not seen that discussions happening in India right now about the token cost. Because right now the penetration of the usage is more important in the companies rather than the usage. Probably US is ahead of that. So you're saying that companies are now challenging employees how to hold the utility, how to not to use or you to use the the AI models like on the token usage. Kind of a metering
Yeah.
happening at the laptop that your
Uh,
laptop shows how much metering you're doing?
I will come to that in subsequent
Okay,
slides
okay.
because
You carry
like
on.
I think
I give you
Anurag,
some.
that will be also interesting to see because from the customer consumer point of view, I think that will be a challenge for them to manage this budget, and they can't always work within that budget also because if they need to deliver to the client, they will set the expectation in the market. So if they overspend, then how they're going to react or accommodate for that, or is there any different mechanism is expected to come in this area?
Oh, you mean like if customer end up overspending the cost of AI tokens?
Correct.
Um, yeah. So right now, if customers are overspending for AI, there is no other option. They'll have to do the metering for it. What Ankur was sharing, that you'll have to start giving budget to individual employees, that okay, you cannot go beyond that. And that is happening in Valley right now, where I saw a news where Atlassian has come up with a AI wallet for for their employees, and they are just giving tokens worth $2,000 to every employee. So employees should be more cost conscious about it. So I will cover that particular part. Hold this question, but yeah, there are two
Just one
different.
thing for Nimit. Nimit, no, in the data center business right now, is it the model is not utility based, like, or you have a fixed model, right? Because you provide electricity, like major
No, no,
portion
we are
electricity.
in the hyperscale model. Okay, so definitely for the other services we have fixed, but utility is consumable for us as well. That depends on the IT consumption.
Okay, so probably for that you charge on the as a utility.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah. Because we
understood.
have some POE to be maintained, and
Mhm.
yeah, on the basis of that we can only charge. So we also have that risk. But I think if I look from the cloud service provider point of view, I think that risk, or the customer point of view, risk is comparatively higher on that side.
Yeah. And
Okay,
one
okay.
other thing I would share on this particular area, what I'm seeing is, as companies are moving from SaaS model to this AI consumption model, the finance teams have, like, they own the ERP system or the revenue recognition or booking system, right? So though all those products and systems have to transform to support this utility model. And this is again a big transformation from system side, right? Like, where earlier it was much simpler, you are charging customer per seat. Now it becomes more like you have to charge based on the AI token usage. So how you are going to recognize the revenue, whether it will be recognized on daily basis or monthly basis or on yearly basis. So all those questions you may have to think about as a finance professional when your team is moving more towards AI token based pricing model. And like, you can experience that challenge across many companies, like for real estate companies as well, right? Like, when they start providing services more using AI, they will have no other option but to charge for AI token usage. So yeah,
Okay.
like, definitely keep these things in mind when you are thinking about your revenue predictability, margins, as well as spend part, like how you are going to manage the lumpiness over there. So with that, let me move to the next slide. So yeah, the key takeaway I would say is AI is going to be a utility-based model. It's not going to be a license. So based on that, continue to manage your business as well as finances based on that particular aspect. So with that, let's move to the next topic. Okay, so this is the other topic that you were discussing about. Like, you may have seen this headlines where Uber
Mhm.
exhausted their 2026 AI budget within first couple of months. It was in April, in first 4 months, and it was a big spend of almost $3 billion, where engineers and rest of their org ran through all their uh, AI tokens that were allocated for the whole year. Same for Walmart. Walmart has is capping the usage of AI for their employees, right? So what happened in the valley is, to drive AI adoption, companies were doing token maxing. So overall, I do see that companies are following three different approaches to drive AI adoption. I don't know, like, where India is in the AI journey right now. So 6 months back, this concept started where every company wanted to drive maximum AI adoption across their company. And in most of the Bay Area, Silicon Valley based companies, employees got access to as much AI they want to use. It could be Cloud Code or it could be GPT. And with that, what we found, and employees were their performance was measured in some of the companies in terms of, like, how many AI tokens each employee is using. There were dashboards that were created, kind of a leader dashboard to track, like, who is using maximum number of token, and those folks were getting kudos. And that's where the challenge was there in this particular approach where people started misusing it, where like engineers were writing cron jobs that will continue to run in cycle and they will be able to token max, like will continue, they will be on the top of the list, whereas the output of that work may not be that much high. Uh, so with this particular strategy is getting kind of phased out in the valley right now, where just because of these challenges, where companies were running out of their AI budget pretty soon. The second strategy that some of the companies and companies with limited budget that they are following is that they are giving basic AI access to most of the employees in the company, and premium access like higher token usage access is given on demand basis. So if our employee is really interested, if engineer is no, yeah, I this particular tool will really help me out, then they request for that particular access and that access is approved for them. So the good part about this approach is that you are controlling the spend on AI. However, the challenge with this is that the adoption is pretty slow for AI, right? Like, especially what will happen is there could be some employees who are not interested in learning AI, so they will not be pushed to learn AI. They will not be pushed to learn AI, and with that, their productivity will be lower, and it will reflect on their performance in over period of time, but not right away. So that's where, depending on the budget, like companies can choose the option that they want to go for. The third option that I generally prefer is like the value maxing option, where you are giving higher end access to of AI products or more AI tokens based on the roles. Like there could be engineering roles or R&D roles that require more AI tokens. So you are giving them the premium access, and then identify the AI champions in rest of the functions to see like where AI can add more value and give again the premium access to limited number of folks rather than everyone, depending on if I give value. Suppose if you give more AI tokens to this particular job category, will it drive more value for the company? If yes, then only give it and continue to measure the impact over there. And some of the measurements you can do is like, okay, is your sales going up without increasing the sales headcount, just by like making those sales folks AI proficient? So continue to maximize the value of AI dollars. Any questions on this part?
Yeah,
Because this is like a
Anurag,
biggest thing that is happening in Valley right now. The token maxing thing, it is becoming more of a blacklisted word right now.
Anurag, I think this token maxing I understood. I think probably it's interesting, and I think how companies are encouraging employees. But when you say value maxing, like I was just trying to understand, there is a extreme phase of token maxing which is phased out. Then controller on demand, which is more like I think India is in that phase of control and on demand. India, wherein employees have to justify also sometimes why they need premium tools. AI is not
Yeah.
coming very easily to everyone. Like let's be very candid, except the Copilot, which is part of the Microsoft
Mhm.
subscription, companies are not giving. They companies are giving, but it's still depending on the role justification, not like a free. But what is this value maxing when you say, I'm sorry, I just not able to,
Yeah, sure,
when
sure,
you say,
sure. Let
yeah.
me, let me come to value max. But want to understand, is the cost of AI tokens pretty high in India as well? Like over here, it's pretty high. So that's why companies are
How
trying
do you
to.
define that? How do you define? Because we are like, I'm paying for Claude a monthly subscription of $20, $20. I took an annual plan. So $20 is something. And when my token get exhausted while I'm doing something, and so I don't buy more tokens because Claude insists me you buy more tokens or you are
Yeah.
out for next 6 hours, 9 hours. Is it like, how do you see? Because I'm still seeing AI as a fixed base model in my mind. In India, I'm
Oh,
not
okay.
seeing,
Okay.
okay, but how do you see
So,
this? Because I have not seen that at least in my
Mhm.
world.
So in enterprise side, there are you can consider you are getting unlimited tokens. So like the $20 plan that you have, and on top of it, it asks you to buy more tokens. So for enterprise users over here in US, like when token maxing was happening, every user was having access to unlimited AI tokens. So that was the strategy actually promoted by Claude itself, where they were like, you may have seen those news where Claude as well as Nvidia folks came in and they were like, okay, AI is going to replace quite a few humans. And the way you figure out like which roles are replaceable by AI is like first continue to spread AI in your organization as much as possible. And after few months of the usage or so, you will figure out where AI has added most value, and then you can start optimizing the roles in those organizations. So that's how it started. That companies were giving unlimited AI token access, and with that, it was super expensive, Ankur. Like as you are asked for upgrade every time, right? When you run out of token, imagine you are never asked for upgrade and you get that bill towards the end of the month, and that bill can run into thousands of dollars, or in some cases it was running into millions of dollars, like half a million. Like sometimes when engineers are running job, like it can run into a single job can take $500,000.
Okay, interesting. More than a
Yeah.
cost of a human. I think probably I'm not sure whether you're covering this, but probably then the question will come. And if you're covering it, that's fine. The question comes that, sometimes you also have to start seeing that whether applying in AI is cheaper or costlier than applying in human, because human may not cost $500,000 at least for a month.
Yes. Yes. So that's the other. So after this token maxing, right, that's the other phase that is happening right now, where we are seeing number of jobs are increasing in value, especially for engineers. Earlier, number of jobs were going down, but now companies have started investing back into people, and they are hiring a little bit more folks as compared to what they were hiring earlier. Okay, coming to the value maxing part, right? What it means is you invest the AI tokens where it will give you the maximum value. So suppose you are setting up a fixed budget of $2 million per year for AI tokens, and it has to be shared among all the different functions. So there for each function, see like wherever you invest this $2 million, which one will give maximum value? Is it by giving it to sales? Is it by giving it to finance? Or is it giving it to engineering team? So they have to come up with the business case to the finance organization that okay, suppose R&D research and development, basically engineering and product spends on it, then their productivity will be this much higher, and they are expecting more features to be released quickly, and with that you can sell more and it will be X million worth of impact. So totally based on the ROI part, you will invest, allocate dollars, allocate AI tokens.
But Anurag, in the allocation, because we don't know how much tokens we will consume when we will do any kind of ROI project, or you will estimate that this much token will be consumed, maybe,
Oh, yeah.
because
So there, yeah, you will have to come up with that estimation based on again the previous usage, or vendors who are selling the product. You can ask them like what are the benchmarks, how many tokens are being used by other customers, like per engineer or per salesperson. So you can use that information to
any
do the
kind of a
R.
tool is in the market, Anurag, which you guys are using to meter your usage, or like your company is providing you some kind of metering internally?
Uh, yeah.
No.
So unfortunately, I cannot share like what's happening in the
No, no, I'm
company.
I'm I'm not. Yeah, whatever you can share. I'm not trying
Yes,
to.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So it's yeah, there are out of box products that are giving a quick glimpse of what's happening among the AI usage within the company side. And I think it may be coming in from Anthropic or GPT itself, where each leader can look into the AI token usage by each employee and what are the different tasks that those employees are doing. So that's one really good way for leadership to understand and then prioritize the AI usage.
Okay.
And that's a good question, Ankur. Like overall, I believe I'm sure there will be companies who are coming up with a specific product that is giving you a dashboard of like AI token usage across your company. Because it could, and I will cover it in the subsequent slides. companies are moving from a single model to multiple models. So earlier, it used to be that you will just buy a product from AI model from Claude, Anthropic, or from GPT. But now the go forward vision is to start using multiple LLMs rather than just single LLM.
So like Copilot provides that multiple LLM. That's where you're talking about. Like,
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, route it
okay.
to individual, pick and choose the LLM based on what job you are trying to do.
But if I'm using Copilot, I'm using Claude, then the calculation of token will be as per the Claude. Like everyone has their own way of doing the calculation. Like, so it is, so ultimately you're making it more complex. You will be using a combination of both.
Yeah. Yes, 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 and
Fantastic.
there will be products or frameworks that will come in to help you optimize that particular part.
Okay, cool. I
Yeah.
I think it's getting cool. Yeah.
Okay, with that, let me. So, overall key takeaway, I would say for all of us over here is that our goal should not be to maximize AI spend. It should be to maximize the business value that we are going to get by spending AI dollars. Per AI dollar, business value should be much, much higher. So, yeah, definitely keep that in mind whenever you are planning for any of your AI token spends. Okay, so this is the other big theme that is happening in the valley right now, and it happened in last 2 weeks or so, where increasingly we are seeing that open source model that are coming in, especially from China. They are competing really well with some of the best models that are in US right now, like OpenAI or from Anthropic. And with that, the unit economics are changing because we know these closed source model from OpenAI or Anthropic are super expensive, whereas in China they were having shortage of GPUs. So all the models that they created, they don't require that much GPU, and they are much cheaper to run. So with that, they can be giving really tough competition to OpenAI, Anthropic, and Gemini. So how it is going to impact the finance side, or when you are thinking about AI adoption within your company? So the way we should be thinking about this problem is that you don't take Ferrari to go to a grocery store and get milk from there, right? Like you will take your regular car. So that's the same analogy I would say we should apply over here, where for the simple tasks that are like very basic tasks, like you are asking Q&A, like there is a question and answer kind of a format that is there where you are asking LLM about a question, or you are asking LLM to edit a document or so, uh, where lots of intelligence is not required. You can use some of the basic models like DeepSeek, and I'm hearing some of the companies have started adopting DeepSeek already within US. And if there are model complexities, like moderate complexities, where you require certain analysis or content generation or workflow automation, there you can use again like open source model like Kimi K3 that is at par with Gemini, but it may the intelligence level may be a little bit lower than Gemini, or the performance may be a little bit lower. So just use those open source models. Whereas if it's a complex task, right, like where it requires lots of analysis going through different documents or a complex code base, and you require the highest intelligence level, at that point, pick up the models like GPT or Opus from Claude. So those are the best models in the industry, but they are, of course, the most expensive models. Just to give you a cost comparison between some of these uh, most expensive model versus open source model, I think there is a cost difference of 1/10. And it continues to, like, the open source models are becoming cheaper much faster. So that's where the software industry is evolving right now. That many companies are coming up with these software models that will pick up the LLM based on the job that has to be done, rather than going for the best LLM that is there, right? Like earlier, like 6 months back when we started, for any task, we were just using GPT like within Valley for all the like whichever company was using LLM. But eventually now, like we are all are looking into how, which LLM should be used for which particular job. Nimit, go ahead.
Yeah, I just question that. So, is that the companies like GPT and ChatGPT and the Claude, they are charging a premium, or Kimi is new in the market, so that's why it's a competition,
Yeah.
or
Mhm.
cost is lower for the both
Uh,
the.
yeah. Actually, Nimit, the cost itself is lower for Kimi and DeepSeek, considering they are open source and they don't require that much GPU. So, and the reason for that is that where sometimes it's necessities, that's why we call necessities mother of all inventions, right? So, when LLMs were built in China, at that point, China was having limited GPUs. So, all those companies were constrained with GPU constraints. So, when they were designing their LLMs, they were okay, we have limited GPU, try to build the model that does not require that much GPU power. Whereas in US, we were having so many there was shortage of GPU, but not as much in China. What was in China? So with that, US models still require lots of GPUs for model training, and with that, the cost is pretty high.
The major cost driver, I think the GPUs and the power in that particular segment, because while tokens are running, they are also consuming lots of power in that.
Yes, exactly. So the biggest cost is GPUs, and GPUs are expensive. Like I think you are in data center space. Like believe NVIDIA GPUs are in upward of $100,000, and other thing, at least in US, that is there is the cost of building data center is pretty high right now because every company, all the hyperscalers like Google, Microsoft, Amazon, everyone is trying to build as many data centers as possible. And with that, the biggest shortage right now is around the blue collar workers, where we don't have enough electricians, enough plumbers to build those data centers. Plus, then GPU right now, I what I heard is or what I read was that we have like US companies have enough GPUs. It's just like the data centers are not coming, uh, can't be built so quickly to put up GPUs over there.
Yeah.
Uh,
I got one
Anurag,
question.
yeah, sorry, someone is asking. Yeah, please.
Thank you. So I'm saying just one question. Like as per the image, Chinese app are saying they are taking the data. Is it correct or this is a public like it's a rumor or image of Chinese company? How safe is to use the Chinese GPTs?
Oh, okay. That's a great question. So that concern keeps coming back all the time. So the good part about these China-based GPTs is that you can run these GPTs on your own cloud or within your own data center. So you don't have to host these GPTs in China. So like when you're running these LLM models, right, like you require a data center for it. So that data center can be in India or it can be in US. So that way, those models are fairly secure because you are controlling what all they should be accessing, where all they can transfer the data into. It could be the worst case scenario could be that they may be having a backdoor somehow where they are transferring the information that you are not aware of. But generally, so far, I have not heard any concern like that. In fact, if you look at most of the tech industry leaders, they are promoting open source model. In fact, they have written, I think Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook as well as NVIDIA CEO Jensen, he has also returned to the government that we should be supporting open source model because right now the problem is we do not have economies of scale over here, right? Like the more AI we are using, the more data centers and GPU we require. And for technology to diffuse, right, within the society where it is being used extensively, it has to become cheaper. Otherwise, not everyone can use that, right? So that's why all the industry leaders are, yes, we should be promoting open source as much as possible. and in parallel, like companies like Nvidia, they are building their own open source model. So that's one big change I would say you will see in the industry. Like companies are like I expect like lots of open source LLMs will come in.
Mm.
But that will be for enterprise customer of big companies where
Oh,
they can.
sorry,
But
didn't
these
get.
these, these are for big companies who can host the LLM on their server, or they can like do such that things. But for the individual customers or the small enterprise, small company,
Yeah,
they,
so there again, like what will happen is for SMBs or for smaller companies who cannot host their own open source model, they will get access to those models through hyperscaler. And again, I don't have insights into how what Microsoft is doing. The news that I read about Microsoft is that Microsoft has started to deploy DeepSeek, that is again one of the open source model offered by China. So it will eventually all the hyperscalers will start offering these open source models too.
no, thank
And
you.
eventually what I am like there is I think Nvidia's open source model is Neo, and that is going to like considering it's coming in from US, and once it is ready, it should be available for on all the hyperscaler, and it will be considered to be much more secure and safe where companies will be ready to adopt it.
Just a very basic question. Like I heard that even the Mac laptops have a LLM built in. Like there is a LLM built in comes in the Mac. Someone
Yes,
was telling
yes.
me. So
Yep.
probably, so is it like then probably people also using that Mac LLM, because I'm just thinking that if LLM is the base source, then
Mhm.
probably if a laptop have a LLM base, then probably people can use it to build their own AI models in the future.
Yes, yes, yes.
I'm just trying to
So,
understand.
yeah, so that's the other big transition, Ankur, that is happening. I'm glad you brought it up. I totally missed to share that. Um, so considering there is shortage of GPUs and power within US and many other countries, right? Like you cannot have enough data centers. So with that, LLMs are companies are building LLMs that can run on your laptop itself. Like yesterday only, a company named Liquid launched a new LLM that can run on Raspberry Pi. That's basically a mobile device with basic CPU, uh, uh, basic chip and memory. So eventually, all this LLM intelligence will come to your handheld device. What we call is edge on computing on edge, where all the intelligence will be there on your device. And for advanced task, it will go back to data center. So it will be a mix.
Mm.
And like the good analogy over here is like initially when we started off with desktop and then PCs, right? And then finally we moved to cloud for all the different computing. Right now we use our laptop mainly just as a web browser, you can say, right? Like rest all apps are sitting on the data center or in cloud. So similar kind of transition may happen over here where right now we know cost of serving on cloud is pretty high, and that part is not scaling up because of power shortage or data center shortage. So in meantime, companies will come up with options to enable that intelligence on your local machine itself.
Mm.
So that's why you may have seen that the prices, like in between, like couple of months back, prices of MacBook also went up. There was a big
Yeah.
shortage. I myself got a separate MacBook to install OpenClaw. I don't know if you have heard of that. That was like a personalized thing that you can install on your MacBook, and you are running your own LLM using that.
Mm. Mm. It's probably, I'm just creating a picture in my mind. So probably maybe in the maybe 6 months down the line. So what is one LLM or an AI built in your laptop, which you are computing on the edge, and then probably after that there is a hyperscaler wherein you can reach out to data center who provides you that AI services. Then there is a for a very large enterprise they have an enterprise model. So probably and probably there the AI model which is not in a laptop will be can be a Chinese model and can be a US model, right? Because there are two models we are talking about. Is it that's how
Yeah.
you're seeing a landscape? Because this is how I'm thinking that how it is actually unfolding over the next 6 to 12 months.
Yeah, so the way it will work, Ankur, what I foresee is depending on the job, a different LLM will be called in. Like if the job is complex, you may call GPT that may be sitting on the cloud. And if the job is simple enough, then you will, that router layer, what I call as, will use the LLM that is already installed on your PC. So that's where many of these companies, right, like Intel or Apple or HP, you may have seen their stock shot up like anything in last couple of months, just because what industry pundits are seeing is that lots of this intelligence will start running on laptops itself. So there will
Hmm.
be a big demand for those devices. And of course, like there will be complex tasks that will require higher GPU power. So they will, for those tasks, you will go to cloud.
Hmm.
So
Understood.
it will be a mix and match, but as an end user, you probably don't have to worry about like it will be kind of agnostic to you. Like in the underlying LLM could be anything that is being called. For you, the job will be done. Like if you are suppose searching for doing a if you are doing a question and answer that, okay, how does this product work? A local LLM will be called that is on your laptop. But if you are saying like, okay, do XYZ thing on your product and do this analysis on internet first before doing this updating the transaction, that will be done using the advanced LLM that will sit on the cloud. You will not be aware of it, but your router layer, the basically the software router, will automatically select the right LLM for you.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah. But yeah, it's pretty. There are quite a few other things also that are going on. I will not go into those details, but I will send you this article, Reverse Information Paradox from Satya Nadella, that was published recently, where companies are getting concerned about using these LLMs for all your day-to-day transaction, right? Because now all your company intelligence or your secrets you are discussing with these LLMs, even though they have this zero data policy, right? Like they call it as ZDE, zero data, ZDR, zero data retention. These LLM companies don't retain any data, but the models are getting intelligent based on the questions that you are asking or the feedback that you're providing to those models. So you are kind of sharing your company's secret recipe with these models. So there's big, some of those big changes are happening, and I see
So
Nimit
what is the
smiling.
what is the article of Satya Nadella you talked about?
I will send you the article. It's reverse information paradox that came in from Satya Nadella, and in parallel, Alex Karp, who is the Palantir CEO. Everyone is concerned, like all these big leaders are concerned that okay, LLMs are taking away your company intelligence. So suppose you discuss with LLM that this is the Coke formula, basically the cold drink formula, Coca-Cola formula, and improve this formula. You ask LLM, give me different options, and you, out of all the options, right? Like you select that option three is the best. LLM is learning that okay, of all the research that Coke has done, these kind of ingredients work best. So even though LLM has not saved that information, but it's going into its intelligence that these are the kind of things that can be useful for the end user. So imagine if a Pepsi executive is now trying to change the formula for Pepsi, that intelligence will be helpful for Pepsi employees then. So there are big changes coming in over there where again lots of this intelligence or some of these workflows or feedback will be run within your local or private cloud versus sending it back to LLM. So that's one thing I'm learning in the AI world. Every 3 to 4 months, there is a new season. Like as a PM, right? Like earlier, I used to plan for next 6 months or 1 year, but now things are changing so fast as a product leader. You cannot plan for like, okay, what's going to happen every like in 6 months. You are planning for like in right now, this is the season where you are trying to build AI agent harness or trying to improve the cost efficiency of LLM. Next 3 to 6 months, there will be another big problem that will come in that you will try to solve.
Anurag, when you say seasons are getting shorter, so it is more because of the AI technology is changing or commercials are changing? Like where it is, because we all know how Claude or every, and I'm just saying Claude as an example or LLM as an example. So it is more because of the commercial changes or the technology is getting better and better in the AI. Like what is the
Oh,
key reason of shorter cycle?
yeah, so it's combination of both. So
Okay.
you may have heard of Moore's law, right? Like it was more applicable for hardware side, where what Moore's predicted, he was like key engineer at Intel, that the chip becomes shorter, like almost half the size, and the power of the chip becomes 2x every 2 years or so. And same thing is happening on the AI side, where the intelligence level of LLM models is becoming more and more every couple of months. Along with that, the cost of running those models is still kind of high, right? So, and third thing that is happening is as companies are spending more on AI, they are trying to figure out new ways to commercialize it, right? So, all these three things are resulting in uh, kind of a soup that is resulting in too frequent changes.
And is it commercialized more from a provider perspective, like from an AI view, provider
Oh,
perspective or AI user perspective? Commercialize who?
yeah, so it's combination of both like the hyperscalers like Google or Amazon. They may be having, they will be charging more or less depending on
Oh,
the AI tokens. Plus, what's happening is as a company, when you are using these AI tokens to provide more value to the customer, you are also changing your commercial model. So, example
mm.
that I was sharing where Salesforce is moving away from a per seat based selling where they were giving software license for individual seat to now based on the tokens
Understood.
or
Interesting.
yeah, so those things, like overall paradigm is changing. And before I go, yeah, so the key takeaway I would highlight over here is that um, try to maximize the intelligence that you want um, from each AI dollar by picking the right LLM model. Don't, as a finance leader, if your team is coming in that okay, you need investment for they need investment for this GPT or Claude, also question them that okay, did you consider using the other models that are cheaper and why you require those higher end models for these basic tasks?
And I think education of this AI tool is going to be quite important and critical in that. What tool should be used for what purpose and how you should use it effectively and efficiently. So you're
Yeah.
not repeating it, you're not misusing that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So that will be very important going forward. Like, where as AI professionals, finance professionals, and anyone who is using AI on the team, right? Like, leaders should have access to the dashboards, how those tokens are being used, and you should continue to analyze that. Okay, are we using these expensive tokens for the right jobs, or do we need to pick up other LLMs for these jobs that could be done in a much cheaper way. So you should always continue to challenge your team, and that's where I like those finance partners with whom I'm working generally, like who are challenging R&D as well as other functions that try to get maximum value out of each dollar that you're spending.
Yeah, because as you rightly said, that probably for you may not need a BMW for a short distance,
Yeah,
probably
exactly. You
you
don't
may need a
shoot.
you need a very easy going car.
Yeah.
But I think
Yes.
everyone, like I like for personal usage, I'm using Claude for many things because I feel $20 is okay. I'm paying every month and it's fine. But maybe sooner or later, if token getting more costlier or more consumption, then maybe I have to think of using a Chinese LLM, DeepSeek or something. So now I'm realizing that metering is something we all need to start thinking. At least in India, I'm seeing there is a lag. What is happening in US while talking to you? I think
Yes.
we are still in a phase of penetration of AI rather than into the you know the metering of
Yeah.
AI. There is a phase
Yes.
in India.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like within US as well, I would say I'm fortunate to be in Silicon Valley, where Silicon Valley is like in the cutting edge of technology. So some of the things, trends that I am sharing, they are pretty latest that companies within Silicon Valley are adopting, and rest of the US may still be catching up with these trends.
Mhm.
But
Absolutely.
that's what we have seen in general, that whatever tech companies in Silicon Valley do, like all those practices are spread across like rest of the world eventually. There may be some time lag, but these are some of the best practices that big tech companies are following, and that's how they are scaling, and it makes sense for all the other companies to follow. Okay, so with that, I would like to share one more big topic that is we are seeing very commonly in Valley right now and within US. There was an article in Wall Street Journal recently that said that the number of million-dollar companies with just one employee is increasing. And there are, in fact, billion-dollar companies started near my home, like where they had hardly 50 employees, and the valuation of that company was $1 billion, started by folks just out of college in their early 20s. I don't know if you have heard of company named Mercor. It's $5 billion company and started by a recent college grad, like who started the company in 2022. And the let's look into the key reason why it is happening. And I would like you all to go with this idea that you can also create this $1 million company by yourself. And I will give you a quick demo as well, how you can go ahead and create your own
Anurag, leave
product.
everything, just give that.
Yeah,
I
so
think
I
everybody's interested in that $1 million or $1 billion.
yeah, exactly. And like just to give you an quick anecdote over here, like my son is 13-year-old, and with the power of AI, he continues to create different products. He is into 3D printing and all. And at 13 years itself, he has built a 3D printing company through which he has like earned couple of $1,000s already. So I would say like things are changing very fast, and power is coming to individual how they want to monetize and build on the idea and help the customers or the end users, I would say. Like, because personally, many times the problems that we are experiencing, many other folks will also be experiencing. And if you build on that particular idea and just launch it, you will definitely get good traction on it and you can monetize. So just to give you a quick glimpse of what was happening earlier, like in the whole product development, why it was complex, right? Like uh, this was the usual cycle where someone comes with the idea, they will have to go to business or finance team to get funding for it. Like you will, as a startup guy, you will go to that VCs or the Shark Tank of India to get the funding, and you need a product prototype for it, right? And the creating prototype can take time because you need to hire design person, product designer to design it, and then an engineer to work on it, and then eventually launch it. So guess what? Like with AI, all these roles or the functions that are there, they are getting consolidated into a single person, like and I'm sure you may be doing it at your end already, where you can, whenever you have a product idea, you can come up with the design, you can actually create a product by yourself and launch it by yourself with minimum support from an engineer or from a designer. So that's the power that AI has given to individual. And I do see with this, right, like lots of billion or $1 billion or $1 trillion companies will come in where they may not have thousands of employees, they may just have couple of hundred employees as such. And there are tons of examples if you go and Google right now, like in Silicon Valley where I am, like there are like every day there is a new startup company comes in. You may have heard of Y Combinator. It's very close to my home. Uh, so there on daily basis, I'm seeing companies where their valuations are more than $1 billion. And when I look at the total number of employees in that company, it may be just less than 100 or less than 200. In fact, Anthropic, where their revenue is close to $100 billion, the fastest revenue growth, they have only few thousand employees when I checked last. So yeah, you have the power to create the product by yourself. And I will give you a quick demo of like one of the tool that I use for one of the problem that I have seen at my end. But I will highly recommend you can use any of the tool that you would like to use. It could be Cloud Code, V0, or Lovable. I can share the name of some of those tools to create the product that you are interested in, play out with that idea, and try to launch it by yourself. Want to hear any comments over there? Like, has anyone tried creating a product by yourself so far?
No, after this call, people will try to do definitely. You talked about
Sure, yeah, I would
$1 billion.
love to
Yeah,
see
but
your
definitely
LinkedIn.
100% we are in for that.
Yeah,
I
I would
think
love to see
people are
your
thinking
LinkedIn
now,
post for it.
better to create a product and earn $1 billion than rather.
Yeah, and I'm just read about this company, Mercor. It started by
What's the?
Indo.
Can you ping that in the window, because the name is something I'm not able to. You can ping it, later if you want. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I
Okay,
just
Makar.
think Mercer, yeah. So
Okay.
this company is exciting to me because the person who has the person who has started this company, he lives in the city very close to my home, and would have gone to a school nearby. And I think he started this company at age of 22 or 23, and by 25 or 26, it's $5 billion. Yeah. Okay. So with
Okay.
that, let's
Cool.
go into. So I use this product by name V0. So the good part about this product is you can just prompt to this product and it will create an app for you. So let me share one common problem for which I just created this app. I would say a couple of quarters back. I didn't get chance to launch it, and because I left to check with my company whether I can launch it or not. So over here, right, like one very common problem many of us professionals have is like every day in the morning, you would like to learn about your profession, right? Like would you will be following certain blogs or you will be going to certain websites to learn about it, and it takes time. So in, imagine if you have a product that goes to all those websites, capture the big headlines, summarizes all that information, and create a podcast for you that you can listen to on the run rather than just scrolling, right? Or when you are driving or when you are commuting to work, you can just listen through that particular part. So that's one common problem that this product solve. And earlier, when I had to build this product without AI, it could have taken forever, right? Like I have to hire an engineer or get a partner with designer. Whereas in this particular world, like when I created this product, it was just with simple prompts. And let me try to see where I can provide you with the prompts over here.
So saying Anurag that V0 is kind of a platform wherein you can create a product. Like in
Yes,
V0, we
yes,
can
yeah,
give prompt,
exactly.
it
Yeah.
can do that. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Actually, I created so this morning news reader I had created long time back. I'm not able to find the prompt for it. But let me share one other app that I created just for this particular demo earlier this morning. So one of the big problem in US is like you have to, unlike India where you have the luxury of like drivers or someone who can take your kid to different classes, or you will have the buses and all, right? In US we don't have that, so we have to drop our kids individually to school or to different classes they will be going. So we generally as parent are always looking for carpooling option where other kids are going, right? So I just gave this prompt in the morning to this particular app that create a carpooling app to help parents find carpool for their kids. And it asked me certain questions that, okay, do you want to, what should be the full version look like? Do you want to have accounts or data? Which capability matters the most? It asked certain questions, and I answered those questions. And just based on those basic prompt, it created this app for me where you can see, okay, let's see.
So you don't need that GitHub and anything on that Anurag. It works independently.
Of course, yeah. So the GitHub part, it is creating code in the backend,
Mhm.
but you will have an option to publish this particular app, and you connect the code for this particular app to GitHub.
Okay, so that we need to do
But,
if I want to
GitHub,
give
you
access
can
to
consider,
others.
yeah. So GitHub, you can consider it's more like Google Drive for code, where the code sits in, it's saved in over there, and it can be shared with multiple developers. But if a single developer is working on it, all these apps will provide you with the enough information where you can just prompt to make changes into that particular code. You don't have to go
Okay, so
into
if you're
the,
using for your own purpose, then you don't need a GitHub. So probably
yep.
that you can use on your own. Okay, cool.
Yes, yes, yes. And eventually, right, like when the code base becomes bigger, at that point, you would like to check in the code into GitHub so that multiple folks can collaborate on it. But overall, Ankur and team, like the big change that is happening is earlier, doing coding or software development used to be a super specialized skill, right? Like you need to learn coding, you have to go through lots of courses, you have to learn kind of totally a new language that computer can understand. Whereas with all these tools now, coding has become more of a prompt. You just prompt the tool over here, like let's try to make a change over here. Also show location for carpool. So with just this particular prompt, I'm able to change everything that is there on this interface. So I don't have to worry about learning the code, how to change the
V0 is a
behavior.
paid app, Anurag?
Yeah, it's like again it works like Claude where they you get certain free credits and after that they charge you. So they
Okay,
like over here, if you look at like I had $20 when I started, now I have only $18 because I used
okay,
$2 of credit.
okay.
So in the end, right, like in the background, what it is doing is it is doing all the work that an engineer would have done, like creating different files, updating different code. But you don't have to worry about it like going forward. You can just do it by yourself, just by the prompt side. And from here, right, like the thing that you can do is it will give you all these options, like which database you want to connect to. You can, again, here you will have to find the database like on Amazon or on Google. So all these different databases you can integrate with. You are giving option to integrate with GitHub, Ankur, as you were sharing, so that your code can go into GitHub. But for the data part, you may have to suppose you are making this app where you will have to store the data somewhere, right? So you will have to buy subscription for Amazon, Aurora, or some of these different products to store the data.
Oh, okay. So probably
Yeah.
for the data purpose you need. Okay,
Yes, yes.
okay.
Yeah, exactly. But the good thing is, with this particular interface, you can come up with a quick design and a quick, I would say, that's why they call it as V0 or the beta version of the product, for which you can show it to different users, get their feedback, send it to them to use the product. And once you get certain feedback, then you can start expanding your team to get an engineer who can help you in scaling this product.
Okay, you're saying a prototype can be created, which will give you a basic confidence. And once it is there, you can scale up the product, with
Yeah.
more. So, okay,
Yes.
so minimum viable product, something it creates for you.
Yes, MVP it can
So,
create for you.
oh,
And
very good.
yeah. So that's the big transition that is happening. Like 6 months back, we were more focused on creating the MVP using this. Now the next stage that is happening in the product experience, product builder side is, and that's why I was calling myself as product builder in the first slide. Um, that as a product manager, I can make the changes in code myself, do the code check-in in GitHub, and release those changes. And of course, like we are
And
trying to like do small changes rather than doing big changes because like there's cost of like maintaining the code and all. But overall, the key message I want to share over here is that as with any role or function, now you can make the code changes yourself, build the product app by yourself,
Same
and
thing
launch
Claude
it.
also will do, no? Sorry. Same thing Claude will also do. What is the difference, or is it better? Like,
Uh,
I'm just trying to.
yeah, so Claude, you can say it's a general purpose LLM that can
Mhm.
be used for Q&A, everything, right? Like, whereas these products like V0 is there, Lovable is there, they are the specialized products for creating the product prototypes.
Oh,
Um, Basically, they are
okay.
like to create the MVP for you. So
Okay.
from here,
I
it's
will
very
try
easy.
that.
Like I can just say carpool and I can publish it and share it with other members. Like it will be public, that will be available for everyone.
Mhm.
And it is asking me like, okay, if I want to buy this domain, they can do buy this domain on behalf of me. This will be the domain, the name of the app that will be there. Continue. And when I publish it, it will publish and it will be basically available. I can send the link to you to play with it. Like it is available, it will be available on internet for someone to play with.
Mm.
So the biggest benefit of all this, Ankur and everyone, is like whatever idea you have, right? You can make a visual prototype for it and in fact make a workable product, I would say. I will not call it as prototype, is more like just where you are clicking and nothing is happening. Here you can connect it to the database to create a end-to-end functioning app. So of course, the cost of running this app will be a little higher, considering you are using all out-of-box solutions right now. But initially, to test out the idea and see whether there is a good product market fit or not, you can use this app, and you are seeing certain, suppose 10 to 20 users have started using the product. Then yes, that's the time when you start scaling it and start using the regular cloud setup and all to decrease the cost.
I think it's good. I think at least I will try this, because this is something, making anyone a product developer or product builder, like
Yeah,
anyone
yeah, you are becoming an
on this
entrepreneur.
call
Yes,
can do that.
exactly. Just try this website. Like it got created just by within like 10 minutes or so. I can
Mm.
search and it is created the sample data, of course. Like if you are looking for
And
carpool
this is
from
a,
this,
this is the real data, Anurag, right now. What I'm seeing on my
oh, this is the
like, I've
sample
just
data
opened that.
by
Yeah,
itself. It's
sorry.
the sample. It's
Like, but sample data, but it's a real sample data, or it's a fake data, like it's a cook up data.
It's a synthetic data. Yeah. It's like a fake data, you can say, but you can add your own data as well in this.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So right now it's like, okay, join, request to join and all. So,
Yeah, yeah.
uh, yeah.
Great, great, great. So I think we already at 9:32 India time, so which is something we had, but probably, Anurag, if we can take a, poll, like from people, if they have anything to ask, or
Yeah,
you may wrap up, accordingly, so
sure,
let's
sure.
take a pause. So just take a pause, and everyone on the call, because I know it's a late evening, and probably, and for Anurag it's a late early morning, so both of us are at the different edge. So anyone has anything to ask Anurag at the moment? Before Anurag wrap up the discussion, and anything last he picks up, but anything you would like to ask or comment on what Anurag has mentioned over the last 1.5 hours?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
So, Anurag, my question is that have you noted instances wherein a product, since you just showed that even somebody without the knowledge of coding would be able to develop a website, would be able to develop a prototype, or at least bare minimum working model. So, have you seen cases or instances wherein a business is made by a single employee type of company, and then once it scales up, the immediate it comes to notice of everyone, and then people start copying the same model? Is that what is happening, or what's your view on that?
Yeah, so that's one big challenge. Actually, all the VCs have this question when you, right now, when you're going to any of the VC in Bay Area asking for money, like they are like, can someone else copy your model, right? Because now coding is becoming has become a commodity, and you can just say to this Versal itself that, okay, go and copy the model for Uber. So all these companies over there, right, like when they're launching, they do have some specific moat. It could be moat around data that like companies like Uber, right? If you consider they have a strong network of drivers as well as the passengers who have downloaded the app, and they have the distribution power. So not any startup can replicate that very easily, or they may have certain other moats. Like I was looking into some of the infrastructure companies where they have the moat of providing the most stable infrastructure for serving LLMs, that a startup, even though they may try to replicate it, but they cannot replicate uh, the service level SLAs that this established company is providing. So I would say, like, whenever you are building these companies, like do consider what moat your company will have or what differentiator your company will have, because product features could be same across different products now, considering it's very easy to copy paste those features. And over there, Mukul, like one good example I will share in big companies itself is if you look at Instagram and Snapchat, right? Like Snapchat by itself is a very solid product that started off with like really good video reels and all, where and Instagram is kind of following that particular product, but still the adoption of Instagram is much higher because Facebook had a much higher distribution and a usage of their Facebook product, through which they were able to reach out to many more users. So uh, that's where, like, even though you may be able to replicate the features or able to try provide better features, it may not always replicate into a big user base unless and until you are providing you have some other differentiator.
Yeah, I think Anurag, you're right. I think, and Mukul, I think to your point, I'm thinking like in our world, like reconciliation is the most commoditized thing which people think we can do. But what Anurag is talking about moat, like our USP. So I think it's important that the other person, you should have something which other person can't replicate very easily, at least initial 6 to 12 months. So that's the moat, and I think that's why maybe the larger enterprise will be have an edge, like Google's of the world, where they
Yep.
always have a moat and data, or experience of that model to do multiple tasks, or maybe handling the complex situation, something which is missing. But I got your point, Mukul and Anurag. I think it's very important what you both said. Thank you.
Yeah. But yeah, Mukul, there are good examples like, and I will try to send it after this call as well. Like Mercor and all that I was sharing, those are all single person, like not big companies that have gone from a zero to $1 billion in very short span of time.
Have you met the founder of Merco, Anurag?
N- No.
You should
So
meet him.
yeah, that's like in Silicon Valley, that's one very interesting part. Like you keep bumping into all these big entrepreneurs. Like once I was having dinner and restaurant, and I saw like Mark Zuckerberg just sitting behind me having dinner, date night with his wife. So it's all very common in Bay Area. Like in my last company where I used to work for, it was in the same building as Asana. Asana, and the founder of Asana was the co-founder of Facebook by name Dustin Hoffman, I guess his name was, and he used to share the same elevator like us with us. So yeah, in Bay Area, you continue to bump into all these biggies in all these different conferences or different forums that are there.
Oh, cool. So, guys, anyone has anything else to ask? Mukul has asked. Thanks, Mukul. And anyone has else, because else we will wrap up the discussion. I don't want to, take more time from Anurag.
I think it's a
Early.
good session. Got a lot of knowledge about this app building, other things, and especially the confidence. That is so much easy to just to make the app and uh,
So,
publish it.
Mulesh, you can now create a $1 billion company. I think what the title is. I
So
think I think
to
Anurag, and now I remember when you told
than
me when I
1%
was
of
on a call
revenue
with
to.
you. I think I remember now when you told me in one of the call. Now I'm able to correlate. You told me, Ankur, you should create your own product. I remember that discussion you and me had. So now I can understand when you've shown me this that yeah, if you have an idea, there is an AI to support you.
Oh yeah, yeah. So it's pretty simple, and as a product manager, right, like where I had dependency on quite a few amazing stakeholders of mine, now I don't have to take their time for my initial ideas, right? Like I can doodle it myself and then share it with the leadership, get their buy-in before we start investing more on this. So the product cycle time has reduced quite a lot. Like you can release more features at a much faster pace, and that's where I think as finance folks as well, right, you can always push your R&D teams and other teams to deliver more with less.
I think there's a lot of thinking going in my mind. I'm just curious to use V0 now, at least to see that how it really works. Limit, you
Yeah,
want
there
to
are
ask?
tons of products
No,
which
no,
we
nothing to ask, but just to thanks, Anurag. It's a really great session. Okay, we really enjoy that. Lots of good learning from you.
I think
And I
Anurag,
think
you
we,
talked
we
about
want to reconnect
dollars. You talked
once
about
again.
dollars. It changes everything.
Yeah,
Yeah, and once I look forward to seeing more and more products coming from you folks, and keep sending me the 1% of that revenue.
sure.
No, I will do a deal. If I'm doing V0, I'm able to create, I will, yeah, because I think
Yeah,
it's
no,
really
I'm kidding. Yeah,
interesting that finance
I
folks
would.
can become engineers now. I think at least for me, it's giving me a lot of freedom now in my mind that we can just change the landscape if we want as a finance folk. So we will have an edge in that sense if we want, but it's up to
Yeah,
you,
yeah,
up
and
to us.
if you have any ideas, if you want to brainstorm how to create the product or launch it, I'm more than happy to share my ideas around that part. I could be your soundboard.
No, I will be taking your 1 weekend, I'm sure, because now I am now at least I want to try this. I think it's good, cool. I think
Oh yeah,
I'm
yeah, you should definitely try it. Like I continue to motivate my son. He continues to build some or other website, and it always surprises us what all kids can achieve. Kids can also achieve now with power of AI.
yeah, I think you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. Yeah, guys. So I think I'm sorry, but we will Anurag, if not, then
Sure.
we will try to
Yeah,
close the
great
session now.
discussion, folks. Yeah, amazing set of questions and good discussion. Let's stay in touch. You can connect with me over LinkedIn.
Yeah, so once I will be posting about this session, I will tag Anurag, and probably then probably you all guys can reach out to him, and feel free, you can reach out to me. I will help you to talk to Anurag if required. That's not a problem. Yeah, over to you guys. Yeah. Okay, then thanks,
Great.
Anurag.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye
Thank you,
bye.
everyone.
Bye
Bye.
bye
Thank you.
bye.
Thanks,
Thank
everyone. Bye
you.
bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.